Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this video. My name is Matthew Philip, a business development consultant and a mentor in the Tony Elumelu Foundation program. In the past few weeks, I have received several calls, several messages from the 2025 TEF cohort on how to, for a guide, for an auditing on how to prepare or how to fill this financial model or financial model template. I know a lot of participants are having challenges filling this model. Some have challenges populating the business currency and the financial figures. So that's the reason why I am compelled to create this video so that the participants in this course can be able to prepare a winning financial model that will help them get basic grants for their businesses. So I implore you, make a very good use of this video, follow all the guides, and ensure that you implement all the recommendations in this video. I am also using the opportunity, if this video makes sense to you, take time to like this video and also follow the channel as well. There are several important videos that are being posted on this channel from time to time to guide you in achieving your entrepreneurial aspirations. All right, let's delve into it. Okay, so the 2025 financial model is just similar to the previous year models that I have also created videos on them as well. So firstly, this model has the different tabs or worksheets. So the first one is instruction, the second is assumption, and the third is income statements. Then we have the balance sheets, we have the cash flow statement, as well as the summary and the summary and the glossary. So the glossary has definitions of each of the model, okay, or domains in the template. So it all starts from the instructions. It all starts from the instructions. So from the instructions, before you fill the instruction part, you need to, yes, it starts from the instruction. You need to input your name, your company name, and your email address. Okay, having said that, we move to the next one, which is assumption. So your business year is only with assumption, okay? It's only the assumption part that you're expected to populate. It's only the assumption tab that you're expected to fill. The income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow summary, every other tabs will auto-generate themselves. So all you need to do is to provide accurate information in this assumption tab. All right. Then secondly, before you populate or fill this template, take time to do your research to be certain that the data, the figures that you are providing on this template, they are factual and they are verifiable. So get information from your vendors, the market information, pricing, your product pricing, your salary range, rents, equipment, every other cost that you're going to incur in the business that will make up this business plan. Get those information. All right. Then do your projection. Now, before you start, we also need to know that this segment has the A, that's the general segment. Okay. Then the next one is growth rate. The third is startup cost. The fourth is headcount. Then the next is operating expenses. We have the revenue projections. Then we have the working capital. Okay. Then startup financing, equity financing, debt financing, debt amortization, etc. Now, the debt amortization, the working capital schedule, okay, as well as the up to debt amortization, okay, no, up to debt financing, equity financing, they will auto-populate itself. So when you feed this template, you only stop at H, that's startup financing. All right, let's move to the top. So from the top, that's A, it's titled general. So for the general segment, the first thing you need to provide is your business country and your and the currency that you're using for the projection. Okay, it might be, since I'm currently in Nigeria, so the country here is Nigeria. Then the business currency I'm using here is USD. But make sure that you convert the figures that you are going to provide on this template. You convert it with your exchange rate, with your local currency exchange rate. Okay. Then you move to your product and services. So for product and services, if your business has more than 5 products or services, more than 3 products or services, I suggest you limit it to 3, because this template only provide a segment for only 3 products or services. Just limit your projection to 3. But if you have less than 3, maybe you are only offering only 1 product or service, there's no problem. So just make use of only 1 cell. Okay, ignore the others. All right. Now I have populated some segments of this template. I've also left some so that I can populate it real time. So I am using a poultry business for an example in this presentation. I'm using a poultry business. So for those of you who are in poultry, you are lucky. But in the course of the presentation, I'm also going to touch base on other sectors as well. All right. Now, this poultry business will be a business. It's a startup business that will delve into eggs production. Okay. So the business will generate revenue from selling of crates of eggs, then selling of spent birds that have laid the old layer birds every 12 months. They sell it out as meat. Then sales of chicken droppings, that's the chicken manure. The manure sell for manure or fertilizer production. All right. If you are into fashion business, you can use maybe board dresses. You can use maybe skirt and blouse. You can use maybe wedding gown, etc. Or maybe training can be one of them. So it depends. Just limit it to 3. If you are into bread production, you can use 900 grams loaf of family loaf, then 500 grams loaf, then maybe 200 grams loaf, depending on the business you are into. Okay. If you are into school, you can use school fees, tuition fee, sales of uniform, then maybe after school. I know you have a lot of revenue stream, but restrict it to 3. So having said that, then the next is for you to provide information on rates, the rates in your country, the income tax rate. I use 30% here. For bank interest rate, I use 22%. For inflation rate, I use 30%. Depreciation rate. So ensure that you have the rate in your country. All right. Having said that, we now move to part B. Part B is growth rate. Growth rate is talking about by how many percent would your business grow yearly? By how many percent would your business grow every year? Okay. Now, take note of this. Your business with this template is only to fill these columns. Okay. Please, you are only to fill this column. You don't have business with all the shaded cells or rows. Please don't fill them. They want to populate themselves as you fill the other segments beneath. All right. For crate of eggs, I'm projecting that the sales volume for crate of eggs will increase by 20% yearly. I am also projecting that the selling price for the crate of egg will increase by 2% yearly. Okay. I am also projecting that for spent boards, the same projection, 20% yearly, price by 2%. The same with droppings, 20% for volume for chicken droppings and 2% increase rate per year for the price. Then having said that, I now come to direct cost. Now, your direct cost projection. Direct cost is the same, is also known as your variable cost. They are costs that varies in the same proportions with your output. Now, as your unit of production increases, your direct cost will also increase in the same proportion. As your unit of services, number of clients that you offer service to increases, your direct cost of service will also increase in the same proportion. So, having said that, since my sales volume growth rate is 20%, I am also projecting direct cost to increase by 20%. I'm projecting that salary will increase by 5% yearly, and every other operating expenses, every other cost will increase by 2% yearly. So these are my projections. All right, for this poultry business. Now, let's move to the next segment, which is startup. Now, for those of you that are already in business, you have an existing business, it's easier for you to do this growth rate, because what you need to do is to take what is the average growth rate in your business in the past 3 years, in 2022, 2020, in 2021, 2022, 2023, okay, or 2022, 2023, 2024. But how many percentage did your business grow? So the average growth rate, you can use that to make this projection. But as a startup business, you can just use industry standard to provide these projections. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is startup cost. In this segment, you will be ascertain the total cost required to start your business, okay, or to expand your business. Here, your business is only to populate this column. You don't have business with these shaded rows or cells. All right. So this company is not buying land, so 0. For building for building, the company is going to spend $1,000 for building or maybe renovation. Okay, you could actually change this, okay, to renovation if you already have an existing building. You understand? So you can change this to suit your business information. Okay. Then the next is furniture and fittings. All right, $300. And for equipment and machinery, $1,500. For vehicles, is the company not buying vehicle for now. Therefore, internet and installation, $200. Please remember, you are not to just input figures. You must have done your pricing. Then you must also convert it to your country local currency rate. For example, in this presentation, I am using 1,500 naira to $1 as exchange rate in this conversion. So I'm putting the figures in my local currency in Nigeria. I am just proposing tentatively assumption 1,500 for dollar to naira to $1 for this projection. Okay, then having said that, then the next is working capital and inventory and contingency. So you are only to fill only this segment 2. All right. So for opening inventory, $1,500. For working capital, $500 is budgeted. For contingency, $500 is budgeted. So in a nutshell, the company will need the total sum of $5,500 as a startup cost for this business. Now, you have ascertained your total startup cost for this business, $5,500. Okay, so we move to the next segment, which is what? Headcount. Headcount is salary of the team that will work with you. All right, so for the headcount, for benefit of salary, I'm using 10%. You can even decide to use 5%. Or if your business is really maybe a nano business that have not really gotten traction, you could also even use 0 for now. All right, so I'm using 5% here. Okay, so having said that, we now move to the first salary is for the CEO. For this business, now in this segment as well, you will fill the column, this column, and you also fill each rows from year 1 to year 10. You see this? All right. So this is different from the previous segment. So this company is going to have one CEO as baseline, and the salary is per year, not per month. Your projection here is annual salary. So 24,000 naira per annum, that's amount to $200. Okay. Sorry, to $2,400. $2,400. Okay. $2,400. Okay, that per annum, which means that this person will be paying himself $200 per month. Okay. All right. Then the rest will auto-populate themselves. Okay. Once you fill it, once you fill the row and column, once you fill the row and the column, this aspect will auto-populate themselves. All right, then we'll now move to the next one, business development manager. This person is going to get one person for business development manager. If you need a business development associate, you can also fill here 1 or 2 or 12, and you also fill the column. But this person is working with only business development manager. So we have one. Then in reality, you can decide to increase the number, maybe from year 5, you can decide to increase 2, or okay, you can decide to increase 2, or maybe from year 6, is not having associates, 2 associates. Did you see that? Or 1? Okay, so if you feel for associate, then you need to also put their salary for the associate. Now, the business development manager, let's say the salary is $12,000. Okay, and for the associates, we have 600. Okay, who else does this? Customer support. If you don't need customer support, you don't need to fill it, use 0. But if your business needs customer support, then if you have employees or roles that are not listed here, you are at liberty to change the title. It can be maybe M and E. So you are at liberty to change the headings. All right. Then for marketing, let's say 1 person, 1 marketing manager, and 2 marketing associates. For example, let's say 400, 1,000. So we have one per year, up to 10 years. Then for year, we have 2. So let's say 1 in year 1, 1 in year 2, 1 in year 3, 1 in year 4, and the rest is 2 employees. Okay, so I haven't said that. Then you now add their salary. Excuse me. So this is supposed to be 1 person, and this is supposed to be 1 as baseline. So for salary, we have 400, we have 1,000. Depend on, okay, since the rest are 2, let's say 3,000, 2,000. Okay. All right. These are just assumptions. Okay, so IT, does the business need IT team? No, because of time. I don't want this video to be too long. I could just move to the last one. So what I will just do, I could just change this to poultry farm workers. Since it's a poultry business, okay, I could change this to farm workers. If you're a fashion designer, you can put tailors. Okay. Now, from farm workers, do we need 1 manager? You know, a manager, yes, 1. Then how many farm workers? 3. Okay. Then for the manager, okay, sorry. Yes, that's correct. For the manager, okay, let's say 400 for salary. Then for the employees, let's say 4,500 for the 3 of them. Okay. Then the next thing I want to do is to now put the yearly projection in number. One. Okay. Then for the associates or employees, okay, this was 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, so 4, 4, 4, 5. Okay, as the business grows, the number of workers in the farm also increases. Now we are done with the employees. Now let's now move to operating costs. Operating costs, for the operating cost segment, we have direct costs. As I mentioned this earlier, direct costs is the costs that are traceable directly to production or service rendering. So we have raw material costs, direct labor, factory overhead support. For this, it's possible you can change, since it's a poultry, instead of using raw material, I could say feeds and vaccine. Okay, so for this I could use, let's say 10,000 for baseline. For direct labor, let me change this to 8,000. For direct labor, 2,000. Yeah, 1,000. 1,000. So always ensure to read the instruction. Fill the following with data for your business. Note that all field may be not all field may be relevant to your business. So fill as required. So only the field that are relevant is what we should fill. Now for fixed costs, now salary has been populated already. Okay, let's move to rent. For rent, can say $1,000. No, let's change to 500. Utilities 100. Marketing 500. Administrative $200. Maintenance 50. Insurance 100. Transportation 300. Subscription 50. Okay. All right. So having said this, you can see that we are done with the costing. All right. The next thing now is that we go to revenue. Here you want to do your revenue projection. You have done your costing now and the cost projection. Now we want to do your revenue projection. For your revenue projection, what the figures I've got I projected here is that the poultry will start with 1,000 birds in year 1. So for eggs, that means that this 1,000 birds within 1 year, the business is going to be able to sell 10,000 crates of eggs. 10,000 crates of eggs. Okay. And the price per crate is $2 per crate. All right. So having said that, then we now move to the next one. I'm saying match 0. Okay, for match to be 0, what I will do, let me go to the projection. There must be a problem up there. In the initial projection, it is the figure that I provided in the projection that will determine what happens here underneath. So for projection, we have this shipping droppings. Okay. All right. So now there was something I said here. The difference between this template and the previous template is that here you have to also input your projection in each of these column or cells for the 10 years. All right. So Here we say 20% growth rates from baseline, then we have to populate it. That's one of the difference between this and the previous template. You have to fill this template. Okay. So I am projecting that the business will grow 20% per year. Maybe from year 5, it will increase it to 30%. Yeah, let me do that way. In year 5, it's from year 6 up, from year 5 upwards, it will grow by 30%. Okay, then we'll do the same thing for this is going to be 2% growth rate. Just leave it this way. Then from year 5, from year 7, it can improve to by 5%. Okay. Then the next one is, so just drag it to get to populate everything since it's not auto generated. So you fill this cell under this segment. Okay. All right. Then for droppings, the same thing. So once we are done with this, you will see that the correction for the revenue projection will reflect underneath. Okay. Let me try something here. See if this works. Fantastic, it works. All right, so now I've populated all the segments. Okay, now let's go and check the results in the revenue projection. Okay, so for the revenue projection, okay, now we have 10,000 crates of eggs and to be sold at $2 per unit. Okay. For every year, sales revenue realized, you are targeting to realize all your sales revenue every year. Okay. If not, it will affect your cash flow projection. Okay. Then I will say that the next product is spent belts. So when the belts are laid for 12 months, then the business will sell it out. We have 1,000 belts to be sold at $3.5 per unit. Okay, so and the revenue to be collected is this. Okay, I'm not using seasonality at all because it's egg production. As long as you're feeding your birds, you're going to be laying. Okay, then the next is chicken droppings. The chicken dropping for the whole 12 months, the birds would yield up to 50 tons of chicken droppings. Okay, so and a ton will be sold at $34. Okay, and the revenue to be collected is 100% every month. All right, so having said that, we are done with your financial projection. With your revenue projection. Okay, having said that, we'll now move to receivable days. Now, when you sell on credit, if you sell on credit by how many days, you can decide that you don't want to be selling on credit the same day you receive, or you can say 30 days, depends on you. So let's just say 1 day you cash and carry. Payable days, you're not buying things on credit too. Okay, then for inventory, you can use 30 days for your inventory of fits. Okay, and vaccines. All right. Now, this is your financing or funding. Recall that the total capital required is 5,500, right? From the 5,500, the TEF grant is $5,000. Now, how do you intend to raise? Let me get my calculator. How do you intend to raise the balance? Okay. All right. So the grant, you're supposed to put the percentage of the grant, okay, of the total capital that you're expecting. Yeah, and everything should be 100%. Okay. So if you say 80% or 90% will come from personal savings. No, personal savings can be 10%. Then 90% will come from the TEF grant. Okay. Equity is 0. The rest, debt is 0. So this must sum up to 100%. All right. So having said that, we'll now proceed to the next one. So you don't have any other business again. You are done with this template. You have done preparing your financial template. Every other information will auto update themselves. Okay. Now, once you have done populating the assumption tab, the next thing is for you to now cross-check to confirm if you have done a very good projection to be certain that you are profitable, your business is viable, and you are not going to be having liquidity or cash flow crisis. Now, let's take a look at this income statement. For the income statement, we are projecting to generate the total sum of 4.5 million naira, dollars in, okay. You can see your year one projection in terms of revenue, okay. And then in terms of gross profit, in terms of your direct cost, 233, and your gross profit is 4.5. Okay, so having said that, then salary is this. For rent, utilities, okay, rent, utilities, and every other one is this figure. Then at the end, you are looking at 1,771,000. So these projections are not really factual. I will have to go and do some adjustments again. Okay, I will have to go and make some adjustments. Why? Because this is just showing, okay, this is 2,000. Don't forget that we have 3 zeros here. This is 2,000. This is okay. All right. So now when you take a look at this, what I will need to do is that I will have to go and adjust the figures a bit so that the projection will not be too large. It will not be too huge or too ambiguous. All right. So let me go back to the assumptions. For the sales revenue, when we say we are going to be selling 10,000 crates of eggs, I could reduce it to like 7,000. Now, this is where the problem is. This monthly sales revenue. So the information I provided was annual figure, not monthly. Did you see this? That was why you see us having $4.7 million in year one revenue for a business that you started with $5,500. You can see that this is over ambiguous. It is not realistic. This is not a business plan financial model that will be approved. So you have to be moderate. You have to always vet to see where the error is. Now, I have discovered that the error here was that they say you provide monthly sales revenue. So what I just need to do is to divide this by 12. So can see that's 83. I will do the same thing for every other product. This is 50 tons. I'm going to divide it by 12. So 4.7 tons per month. Then for the receivables, okay, there's one more product that we've not touched. That's spend belts. Spend belts 83. There's one other product, crate of eggs. All right. So crate of eggs, 10,000 in a year divided by 12. How many would that be? So that's over 800 tons, 800 crates per month. All right, now let's go back and check our income statement. You can see that it's now becoming more realistic. The total sales revenue is now amounting to like $400,000 in year one. Okay. For me, this is also too high. So what I will now need to do is to go and either reduce the price or reduce the quantity projection. I want to be moderate to work between $20,000 to $30,000 in year one. This is a business I'm starting with $5,000. Okay, or $5,500. So I'll come back here to the assumptions for the product. For crate of eggs, I could just reduce it to 400 per month. Okay. Then for this, I could reduce it to 20. Okay. Then for this, I could just reduce it to 2. So let's see the effect. So now the revenue has reduced. Okay, it has reduced to 139. Did you see what happened here? The direct cost is far more than the revenue, but we are still going to go back to that direct cost. So you have to keep adjusting till you are certain that your projection is very realistic, and we are going to achieve that together here. Let me come back here and still do the reduction. I want to work with 30 to 40, $20,000 to $30,000 projection, 200. So I'm reducing it. So be very realistic with your projections. Okay. Okay, I think I will work with this. So this is $56,000. For the sake of this video, so I will not be too long. Please, if you have to take anything from this video, ensure that your projection should be very realistic and moderate, not overcasted, not over ambiguous. Okay. Now, this is not, although there's nothing wrong. Year one, you can make loss. It's fine. In year one, you can make loss. In year two, you could also make loss. From year three, that means that this business will break even in year 3. But I suggest you work with a business that can break even either towards the tail end of year 1 or break even at worst case scenario from year 2. Okay, I won't be comfortable to fund a business that will not break even after 2 years. At least at the end of year 1 or worst case scenario by year 2, first or second quarter, I should break even. So what I will need to do here is to go and reduce the cost projection. So I'll go back to the assumptions. I go to the cost. For the direct cost, okay, this was $8,000. Okay, and this is supposed to be monthly projection. So what we did was yearly. So we have to change it to monthly. So it could be 200. Let's work with 300. 300. 50. 230. Then we also need to go and reduce salary because that salary was far high. Number of staff was too much. So for salary, startup cost, for salary. Okay. For staff from the CEO. Okay. So this is 2.4. This is supposed to be monthly projection. Let's work with 300. Sorry. Let's work with 300. Yeah. Yeah. How many persons? 1, 200. Yeah. 300. So 400. 800. 600. 600. Okay. So having said that, let's go back and check. All right. You can see the income statement. Okay. So with this projection now, the business had a positive gross profit. Okay. It has a positive gross profit, but the net profit, in terms of net profit, the salary in year 2 was too high. Can you imagine, from 1.4 to 8, from 1,411 to 8,467. So we have to go and reduce the salary in year 2. All right. So I go back to salary, year 2. Okay, so once you understand this, it's really going to be helpful. Where do we have issue with year 2 salary? Okay, that will have to do with the assumptions, growth rates. You can see how each segment links is has to do with growth rate, salary growth rate, salary growth rate. So let's go to salary growth rate. Tax rate, X, okay, dropping salary. Okay. So if you say growth rate here is 5%, okay. So for year 2 is 5%. Okay, we shouldn't reduce it since it stayed the same thing. Okay, then I'm still, whose salary should we reduce for year 2? Headcount. Okay, 10, 300. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so what we can do is that the salary for year 1 and year 2 can be the same. From year 3, there will be salary increments. Okay, that will work for us. So we'll now go to the projection assumption for salary. Okay, salary, yeah, baseline is 5. So if can people use 0 for baseline? Okay, year 1, 0, year 2, 0. Then from year 3, salaries will start increasing our salary. Okay, so let's see what the results will be like. Fantastic. So with this, realistically, to start a poultry business and start making money in the first year is not really that realistic, except you have a very good cash base and a very good farm practices and a very good management and marketing strategy. Okay, so this business will make loss in year 1. And from year 2, it will break even. This is a very good one. So your break-even period is in year 2. Okay, so let's look at balance sheet. All right. So you can also see that year 1, the balance sheet is negative, but from year 2, they are positive and it's continuing to grow. Okay, then for cash flow, fantastic. Year 1 cash flow was negative, but from year 2, we have a positive cash flow balance. So even though your business is profitable, but the cash flow balances are negative year 2, year 3, then there's a problem. Your business plan will not be approved because of liquidity. It has tendency to have liquidity crisis when you start operation. So year 1 is negative, is fine, but from year 2 is positive. Maintain a positive cash flow balance. So this is the summary, the summary, and this is the glossary. So at this junction, I believe that this video is helpful to you. So I will implore you, please take time to study everything I have mentioned in this video. Okay, take time to study every step. If you have done your projection and you discover that your projection is not viable, you are making the loss of up to 3 years, then you need to adjust it. Okay, maybe you should break even within 2 years, depending on your industry. Okay, then also make sure that your financial projection is not too ambiguous, and that is why I took you through those experiences and to know where to adjust. Either you adjust the price, you adjust the volume, or you adjust the cost to be able to be certain that you are presenting a viable financial model. Thank you for watching this video. I implore you kindly like and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.